Coming to you live from a redacted location, it's CCS. I am one of your four hosts, Jelani Hendricks. With me, as always, is Generic Mr. E, Human Bean, and HG Damien. I'm with the Bald Baddies, and we just finished watching Superman, James Gunn's new Superman.
Watch how you say bald, by the way. But yes, we are back. CCS is in person all together for the very first time, even before like Jelani joined or Q joined. We never really had everyone all at the same time, so we are excited to do this. But as Jelani said, yes, we just got back from watching Superman. Wanted to do a little bit of a review, thoughts, potential future hopes for the new DC universe, and kind of see where this all goes. So we'll kind of start with everyone can kind of go down and go through some of your general feelings about the movie and kind of what you thought about it overall. Generic Mr. E, how you felt?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a good opening to the new era of DC. I really enjoyed Mr. Terrific. I think he was a highlight of the movie, and I'm so thankful they gave him a chance to like be on his own and shine on his own. And for me, he was the best part of the movie. As the resident Guy Gardner hater, I also enjoyed him in this movie because it verified that I do hate him. I just hate his personality, but it works for his character, and they really brought that to life. I feel like Hawkgirl, she didn't get as much chance to shine as everyone else in the movie, but like it's a big ensemble, so somebody's got to unfortunately be sidelined a little bit. So I was a little bummed about that, but she still did her thing. Lex, I think this was the best Lex in a minute.
Big week for bald people.
Big week for bald people. Watch your mouth, Jelani. But no, like overall, I thought it was really well done. It was good to see a lighthearted Superman that the story really leaned into his humanity and tested that more than it tested his humanity more than it tested him, flying around doing the impossible. They really found a way to ground Superman in a realistic way. So 10s across the board for me. Like it was just really good. It was a really strong opening, and I can't wait for what comes next.
I absolutely loved it, not gonna lie. I think it's damn near like a perfect Superman film. If I want to be like super duper hypercritical, I know we're not doing like ratings yet, but if I want to be like super critical, I'll be like 8 out of 10. But if it's just me just going off initial reaction and feeling and how much I had a blast in the theater, we saw it in IMAX, I loved it. I really did love it. Like, the thing about Superman is like everybody has like their general like I guess idea about him because he's a Boy Scout and he can do essentially everything. But I think whenever you like E said, like when you ground Superman, especially in the way that James Gunn and the rest of the writers did, I think it's like it shows off how truly special he is as a character. And I just really love that. Like I mentioned this a few times off video, but like I think David Cornsweet, I believe his name is, like portraying Superman is perfect. Like he just gets that character, and you can tell he does in the film. Like even just like the small moments of him. I don't think he cursed once in this movie either.
He said, "What the hey, dude?"
Yeah, he said, "What the hey?" He said, "Golly." He said,
his first line in the movie was "Golly."
I was like, oh, they got it. They're locked in. You know what I mean? Like, especially in moments where I feel like he would have been fully justified to like use a real curse word. Like he did not. And like what he was saying, like I love the fact that everybody got their chance to have like a moment. And I guess we'll get deeper into it when we talk spoilers, but all the characters that you know and love from like the Superman mythos that make Superman, like have like Metropolis feel like a real town, had a chance to like really shine in a way that contributed to the story that wasn't corny or anything, and it made sense, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, like 10s across the board for me as well. Like I really enjoyed it.
I have little to no complaints. I thought that the story was adapted incredibly well. I think if you're gonna have anybody at the helm for something like this, James Gunn makes perfect sense. I think he found a really cool way, he and the crew of course found a cool way to marry the IP with kind of his own personalized storytelling. I thought that just the fluidity of the edit itself, and seeing, you know, like scenes transition from sound and like visuals, you know, to actually texturizing the story with its own internal like nuance. You know, you've got you know, you've got Pa talking about things happening with the locals, and just random things that, you know, they're relevant to the world, and make it feel a little more fleshed out than just being concerned with the beats of the story, the plot, and that alone. So I really loved how lived in it felt. I loved that they took that corniness, but it adapted it for the medium super well. Yeah, it was cool.
What about you, Dan?
I thought it was very good. Something that Ian and I talked about when we first started the channel is just the direction DC as a whole is going in. And during that time, this was a couple years ago when we started it, DC was still very much like, we don't know what we're doing. So I thought this movie was a great like starting point. One of the first, because Jelani was sitting next to me in the movie theater, when the movie started, I turned to Jelani. I was like, Jelani, this is the next potentially 10 to 15 years of what DC looks like, depending what this movie does. You know, I thought everything was really great. I same feeling with everybody else, where going into it, I knew that I hated Superman. He's corny. I still like Superman, but he's very cheesy and that kind of stuff. And like he said, the fact that his first line in the movie is "Golly," I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is really good. And I think we'll talk about it in spoilers, but I think throughout the whole movie, I was like, this is great. This is what I wanted. Oh, this is cool that they're doing it this way. This is cool that he said it this way, or whatever the case. So I really enjoyed it. I don't think I really had any complaints aside from one thing here or there, but aside from that, I think it was very good. But yeah, those are general thoughts, kind of spoiler free. Before we go into some specific highlights and spoilers, some little bit of details of our experience going to watch this movie. As you guys can see, we got a little bit of some merchandise,
some paraphernalia,
some of that stuff. We have this super cool popcorn bucket. Oh, there's something in here. I didn't even see. Wait.
They got money in there?
Oh, it just says it's Superman's printed inside. I thought it was a ticket, but we got that. We all got cups.
I thought he was getting it screened.
I thought it was something.
He got the golden ticket.
We all got our cups, and I was like that. It was really cool and pretty full theater, I would say. We were in the middle of the day on Friday, so I think overall was a good time. But going into spoilers, so I have my specific notes, aka Wikipedia, just to kind of go through some highlights and like, oh, this part was really cool. We're not going to go through obviously step by step of the movie, but kind of just some overall things that happen. So one thing this movie establishes right at the beginning, that metahumans, aka superpowered people, have been around for 300 years.
Yeah.
I assume that my first thought was like Vandal Savage, maybe.
That was my first
but
thought,
he's
too.
like a caveman, so he's like thousands of years old.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what that first kind of.
He probably just made himself known.
Yeah,
That was gonna say. I wonder who that first like known thing was.
Yeah.
I really like that opening though. How
Oh,
it just,
yeah. It's just
there's
great.
no Krypton's already gone. We're not seeing it again.
Yeah.
It's my same gripe with all the Batman and Spider-Man movies. Like, we get it, you know.
Yeah.
Sad. Move on. Get to the story.
Yeah.
So it was really cool that they just 3,000 years ago, 300 years ago, 3 minutes ago.
3 minutes ago, he got his ass beat. Is what it
Yeah,
said.
Bro, him coming out the sky. Bro, Krypto was a menace.
I love seeing Krypto.
Because he's still a puppy, it looks like.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was acting like it.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
I said that was Gotham.
Well, that was the thing people were saying is like, because I mean, I don't have a dog, but people who have dogs say that that's how dogs act when you
Yes.
get hurt or when you're sick or whatever. They'll still like jump on you and do all this crazy shit
Yeah.
and mess you up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it established that. And one thing I think Johnny mentioned it, where kind of throughout the whole movie you see how this is already a world with superheroes. Like there's not, we don't
Yeah.
have, like it's already exists. It said that Superman revealed himself 3 years ago. So I like that we're kind of like, because with Marvel it's like, hey, what if superheroes were in our real world? But DC, and especially with this movie, it's like, hey, this is not our real world. This is a fantasy world where all this shit is happening. And
Yeah.
doing all that. So that I
Yeah.
really liked. That was really cool.
It was really good, really quick world building.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, bet everybody knows everybody knows what's going on. Nobody's shocked. All right,
Yeah,
let's move.
Because at this point, like superhero movies have been around for 20 plus years at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, this modern era of superhero movies. Of course, we have like the older ones.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think you need to explain that anymore
Yeah.
to viewers. Like we get it, especially for a character like Superman. Everybody knows who Superman is, so
Yeah.
we get it. Baby comes down from the sky, becomes a superhero when he's like in his mid-20s. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
duh, you know. So yeah.
Another thing we had happen in this scene is we had the reveal of Clark's parents. Specifically, shout out to Bradley Cooper as Jor-El.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Love that.
him and his parents popped up. Pretty significant plot point is they leave him a message, and it kind of like it stops and it kind of like glitched. Did you guys have any like assumption of what that second half of the message was going to be before we got to that point?
No, but I did not think it was going to be that. So I'm like, I'm glad that like they're going that route because it's different.
Yeah.
But also, I did not know. Like I thought they were just going to be more
As
gushy,
viewers,
gushy, lovey,
do we
lovey.
know that if it's been doctored at all, or
I think like what they were saying is like I think Mr. Terrific said it, but if the scientists or the translators like if they put their name on it, then it is like legitimate.
okay,
Yeah. And I think like I forgot. I don't know if Clark heard it later on. Like he heard the full thing. He's like, yeah, it is what they said.
which is crazy.
Yeah. But shout out to Bradley Cooper, and I don't know the actress's name who played his mom, but she was.
I've seen her before,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Their eyes were very blue.
Actors with the bluest eyes.
From there, then it cuts to like the Hammer of Barovia, kind of doing fighting. We get a scene with Lex talking with the U.S. government, and then we get Rick Flag Sr. He pulls up. Shout out from Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
They're kind of going through their whole thing. Ultraman is also there. We'll be reveal that the Hammer is Ultraman in disguise, and we also get the scene of like you see Lex, like controlling all the actions that Ultraman is doing. At one point, I turned to Jelani and I was like, "Who is really Ultraman? What's really going on down there?" But we'll talk about it when we get there.
I figured that was what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I love that this is the initial showcase of Brain versus Brawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it before it gets articulated
Yeah.
in the actual story, so that when that line does come up, it feels a little more rooted and like not so like you know like playing to the beat of your crowd more or
Yeah.
less. You know?
It makes it more believable,
Yeah.
honestly.
And I really like that the relationships were already established. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have to go through the whole Superman and Lex thing. Like, they're already at each other's throats from jump.
Yeah.
And the movie tells you what's going on without you having to get the whole backstory, juxtaposition. That's not a word. Anyway. But yeah, it's a really good world building for a first step. You know?
We also get introduction to Engineer throughout all this and seeing her powers and stuff like that.
Shout out the Authority.
Yeah. I don't know if that movie's still gonna happen because I haven't really talked about it. But
Who knows?
I thought she was pretty good in this.
Yeah, she
San
was.
Diego Comic-Con is happening this year, so
Yeah.
That's true. And then eventually, we see Lex. They go into the Fortress of Solitude. They kind of do that whole thing, and then it cuts to Lex saying like, "Well, I have a distraction." They let out this little baby monster, and we kind of saw from the trailers what it eventually turns into.
Yeah.
We cut to eventually the fight. The big kaiju's kind of going crazy. Superman's trying to save everybody. I did like that they showed him trying to like stop the kaiju hitting the building and like hurting people
Yeah.
and doing all that. But then eventually, E's favorite Green Lantern.
And it's just like, why would you say these things that are untrue?
But we do get our first showing of the Justice Gang here, and they had their fight. What were your guys' thoughts on them and this
The
whole
Justice Gang.
first fight with the kaiju?
I thought it was a great fight in its purpose because it really showed the difference in mentality between these superheroes, these government-funded superheroes, and Superman, because they're fighting this kaiju. They do not care what's happening around them. City is not evacuated. Little girl about to get beat up by these pipes. Squirrels in the way. Buildings about to be demolished, and Superman's doing his best to clean up their mess in real time. So I thought that was really well done to show that while he is fighting for his humanity throughout this whole movie, he has more humanity than these heroes flying around trying to save the day, beating up this kaiju while leaving a trail of destruction behind them. So I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I like that they didn't, do the thing where they harp so much on the differences that it muddies the dynamic of, well, are they on the same side? Are they actually fighting for the same cause? Like there was an alignment at the end of the day, and it didn't necessarily seem like they were messy superheroes, even if they were not looking around.
I think it was they all had and goes back to the world building. You don't have to tell relationships. They all knew Superman was going to handle handle it. And they're like, we're going to go crazy. He's fast enough to figure it out.
You got that.
From here, we get this thing happen where I realize it's like I'm reading a comic book while I'm watching the movie. So while that fight is happening, and they eventually, the fight ends when Mr. Terrific throws T-spheres down in the stomach and kills the kaiju.
Yeah.
And you can see Superman being like, "Come on, dude! Like we don't got to kill it."
Yeah.
But that ends the fight, and the moment I realized, I was like, "Oh, I feel like I'm reading a comic book." The news starts being like, "Oh, we have this new footage and the new rest of the message, and Superman was sent here to kill us." And then it's Lex on a talk show being like, "You guys don't know this is the truth," and you see him really become Lex in that moment, and kind of going through that. So I was like, I'm reading a comic book. Right? This shit is crazy to see. So yeah, we get all that happen, and then after that kind of revelation kind of comes out because people start turning against Superman immediately. They're like, "You traitor! You did this to us!" I was like, "He just saved you guys for 3 years. What happened? What all that?" Then he has a conversation with the Justice Gang, and you get kind of that face off between Superman and Guy. And I know E was like, "Please punch him in the face."
Swiftly.
Knock his bob sideways.
That's another cool moment though, where you get to see Green Lantern showcase his skills and just the innovative measurements that they took to show each character's abilities was so fun, and it felt so novel at points that I was just like, oh yeah, it makes complete sense to just block out all of the windows and have a private conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
It was super cool.
Exactly.
The thing I like too is they showed Green Lantern constructs, and I was like, see, it's easy. You don't have to
the fucking middle finger.
Yeah, but even before that, in the fight with the kaiju, you saw he put the muzzle on him. He had something poking his eye, different stuff. Where it's
so funny.
yeah, I was like, you don't have to do all this. You can do Green Lantern constructs. It seems pretty easily to put them together on screen. Yeah. It's not a difficult thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, from that, Lex imprisons Superman in this pocket dimension. And they kind of go to the pocket dimension, the hammer goes through it at one point. You kind of see it for a second. But here you kind of really go through it. You see all these prisoners. I was trying to see if I recognize any Easter eggs, anybody popping up, but I didn't really see anybody that came up on there.
I have to wait for the eagle-eyed
Yes,
New Meter Rockstar to pull out. 115 things you missed.
New Rockstars, Screen Crush.
Screen. Oh my god.
But then Lex puts him in a cell with Metamorpho, and as soon as I saw Metamorpho, it clicked for me. I was like, oh, he's gonna make him do kryptonite.
Yeah,
make him make kryptonite.
For sure.
Yeah.
So he popped the kryptonite, and Superman immediately you started seeing it affect him.
Yeah. Rough.
From there, we get they kind of have a whole back and forth. You see that Lex has Metamorpho's baby, and he's like, "I'll come back and kind of deal with you later." From here, we get our first. Also, before I should say, before all this, we get introduced to the Daily Planet and kind of their whole dynamic and everything like that. It's a quick conversation that happens with Clark and Lois. But from here, after this, we go back to the Daily Planet and we find out that there's a contact in Jimmy Olsen's phone called Mutant Toes. And so I turned to Jelani. I was like, who is Mutant Toes?
Because they give no hints to who that could be at all.
No,
Yeah.
I from the emojis, I almost instantly knew it was going to be Eve, and
Yeah.
I think I told Q that I was like, "It's got to be Eve."
Yeah, the same thing with Jelani. I saw the emojis. I was like, that's Lex's girl. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, she's.
Also-
Go ahead.
Shout out to their interpretation of Jimmy Olsen. I thought,
Yeah, let's talk about Jimmy for a second.
bro,
They chose the perfect person.
They
for that
did.
role.
I
They
love that actor
really
so much.
did.
He's so good.
Holy crap! It's so good to see, and he's just like awkward still.
Yeah.
He's still Jimmy Olsen, but like this whole new magnitude to him, just
Yeah.
being a chick magnet, is
Infinite
so funny.
aura.
Yeah.
Infinite
Yeah.
aura.
It's like something like he doesn't even understand. It's just like, yeah, I guess girls like that.
Literally the perfect person.
Yeah. It's like, I
He
just
de-
really want to be friends with Superman. I don't care.
I don't know what's happening. Though. Sure.
He definitely doesn't understand Eve because he does not want Eve at all. Like
Uh-uh.
multiple times throughout this movie, like he put her as Mutant Toes.
It is phone.
But so she's feeding him info, and then you see at the end, she's like, "Do you want to meet?" And then he leaves her on red. And so it's kind of like the whole thing. But we also find out through this that Lex is like the one kind of fueling this conflict that's happening between these
Yeah.
two fictional countries, Barovia and Jarhanpur. Because it's revealed to us that Superman kind of stopped the conflict, but Barovia wants to go back and kind of start it up again. So Eve, tells Jimmy about that. Then he eventually tells, he first tells Lois that he's holding Superman in that pocket dimension, and then kind of goes from there and does all that.
Yeah.
Then from there, because again, Superman's locked up pretty much for a lot of this middle part of the movie. He's just locked up and doing
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
We eventually get Lois talking to the Justice Gang at the Hall of Justice, by the way, which was like
Yeah, that
under
was crazy.
construction kind of. But I was like, oh shit, we're here already. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
I really do think the second act runs into complications if you don't build enough of a backstory amongst the ensemble cast.
yeah,
Like you really get a good feel for the characters at the global planet. You get familiar enough with the Justice Gang that when those paths cross, it works out pretty smoothly.
they had a really funny conversation, like a back and forth between Guy Gardner and Lois. I thought that was really cool and
Yeah.
funny. And then she said he talks about the Green Lantern oath. He's like, I took a vow and I did this.
Yeah.
And,
That
And
was
they were like-
hilarious.
Yeah. Hawkgirl's like, whenever it's not convenient for you, you change. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have.
Should have took a foul for that haircut.
yeah,
That's it, man.
Yeah.
that was so funny. We eventually go back to Superman and Metamorpho, because Lex comes back and starts interrogating him, and Lex eventually kills one of the locals, like immediately kills him, like no
That scene
remorse.
was insane.
This Lex was like, I loved him immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, it was.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Hoult is like doing a fantastic job. As
Yeah.
and it's really good because I feel like a lot of Lex interpretations they run into the problem of Lex says a lot of things, but he doesn't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's like one track mind against Superman. I'm evil. This Lex, he said it and he meant it.
Yeah.
exactly.
He said, "Oh, this your friend? He just fed me food once. Well, never again." It's crazy, bro. It was really good to see him actually be evil.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about that is too, which plays to how they're showing Superman off. It's yeah, he served him food once, but he remembered his name.
Exactly.
And he was just as hurt when he eventually got killed. Because Metamorpho was who was that random guy? He's his name was, I think, Molly. or
Yeah,
something
he's
that.
like, what's his name? He's like, so he just killed some guy. He's like, his name was Molly, and I was
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like, oh, he actually really cares
Yeah.
about the civilians that
Yeah,
he
I love
protects. Yeah, so I thought that was really a brutal scene, but really cool, showing off.
It shocked me.
That shocked me
Yeah.
too. It shocked Lex.
like you said, that scene showed a lot. It showed how ruthless this Lex is. It shows how much involved, hands-on he is, and it shows how much Superman is connected to the people of Metropolis.
Yeah.
It showed a lot in a very short scene.
Yeah.
Another scene I forgot to mention that happened before this. One of my favorite scenes is when Superman confronts Lex about Crypto. He's like, "You took my dog," and he crashes in his office, and there's a very good back and forth between Lex and Superman. He was ugly dog with a cape, and it was so fun. It was so
What'd you say?
so well done. I was like, this is the Superman and Lex that I need. Like just their whole dynamic.
Because it is fun and playful in,
Yeah.
in the
It is,
comics,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know when you can add that kind of that dimension to how they engage with each other, it just it reinforces the point that the person who is in charge of telling this story gets how to tell it like fully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that.
From there, we kind of go towards the end of the movie, essentially, where that Barovia they're trying to do a second invasion. Superman has so they break because Metamorpho helps him break out, and we'll talk about that in a second when I jump to this really quick. Barovia's kind of going on, but Superman eventually reveals Superman calls in the Justice Gang to help them, so they're kind of handling all that. Back with Superman and Metamorpho, I want to say it's a complaint, but this was the only part of the movie where I felt like I was like, okay, I'm ready for the next thing. Eventually, of course, Metamorpho helps him break out. He saves Metamorpho's kid. He starts getting pulled by the black hole, and I felt like that kind of took a while. I was like, all right, I feel like
It did go on a little while.
yeah, I was like, I'm ready for Superman to kind of get out of this black hole area and kind of do that. But
because it was just a lot of CGI. I mean, of course, the whole movie is pretty much
Yeah.
CGI, but I feel like it was like turned up in that scene because like you're in your own pocket dimension. He's like getting stuck in by a black hole. He's
like
in
this cube river.
Yeah,
like,
it was just a lot. He's holding an alien baby, and then the alien dog is helping. It's a lot of. It's like it was just a lot, and I was like, this could end like now, and I
Yeah.
think it will be fine. Like I get the point. Like he wants to save everybody and do good, and like he's
Yeah.
gonna help the baby. But,
Yeah.
you know.
From that though, they eventually do release Crypto. Also, Crypto got like taken out pretty like raw. Like when the engineer like kind of almost was suffocating Crypto and doing all that was like
that was.
I was like, oh my god,
I
like,
was like,
this
oh my
there's
goodness.
some real shit happening. But yeah, they release Crypto from there, then they eventually break out, and then from there we get another one of my favorite scenes where you see Lex freaking out and like see him kind of lose control and like all his employees. I was like, this is a good ass Lex.
Knocking the freaking coffee cup.
Yeah, the coffee cups and
Yeah,
everything.
twice.
He said, "You're finished." No, you're not.
Also, I should say, I keep skipping over it. So before the Justice Gang goes to Barovia, we get the scene where Mr. Terrific and Oh no, this was after Barovia, right? Well, the scene Mr. Terrific and Lois when they go to.
Yeah, because it's within the scene.
That's but.
Oh yeah, this happened at the same time. When
yeah,
they're-
it's happening at the
yeah.
same time as he's trying to break out of the black hole.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep the
Keep
portal open.
yeah. So yeah, we saw
that's-
Mr. Terrific's powers, and I was like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Probably
This was
the
at the
stand.
end.
Yeah, that
it's
was
one of the-
that was my favorite scene of the movie.
that was
Mr.
so
Terrific.
cool.
He said, "Lois, stand back for a second.
That's
I'm
what I thought
about
was
to
cool.
pop
Like they
off."
do it from Lois's perspective of like you're just
Yeah.
gonna watch this whole 360.
Yeah.
Even the sound design.
Yeah,
You're-
because they muffle the music.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really, it was so terrific.
Fantastic.
What
Say
are
that
we-
again.
Let's say that again.
Bald.
Okay.
Listen, you're skipping ahead. Let's not get crazy. But yeah, they break out. They stop the invasion. They do all that, and then we get the battle between Superman, the Engineer, and Ultraman. And another, also Mr. Terrific is also in that fight as well. Another ruthless fight where they like are suffocating Superman and like filling
Yeah.
his lungs. And I honestly,
nice.
this was like obviously I knew Superman's gonna win the fight, but I legitimately didn't know how he was gonna win. At this
Yeah.
point. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what's
Oh,
his?
Yeah.
when I saw him start going up, I said, Charizard, he's about to come down hard. Seismic toss.
Yeah. But I love that though because I feel like when it comes to other heroes, especially ones that tend to have more like combat experience, like they'll always have some sort of maneuver to like get out of it. But with Superman, like because he's so powerful and strong, he doesn't really have like I don't want to say he doesn't have combat experience, but it's not like he has like martial arts experience. So
Yeah.
I like that moment because it shows he's like. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna fly up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was just like his only. I feel like in that moment,
That
he
was
like
his only move.
Exactly, this is his only move. But he panics like, this is the only thing I know I can do. Fly up fast.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna figure it out from there. But I was like, yeah, like hell
And
yeah.
then I'll
Like,
come down faster.
exactly. Like, yeah, like that makes sense. Like if it was like Batman or
Yeah.
somebody like that, they would figure out something
Yeah.
with their crazy knowledge of martial arts. But then he was like, I'm gonna jump.
I'm just go,
I'm a
I'm
joke.
just go up. While this is happening, we also Lex starts opening like that black hole to the city, essentially
Yeah,
breaking up the
right.
city. And I'm like, damn, Lex, like you really don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
you can see him. like losing control, but also still being in control. It was very good, like how he played it. Nicholas Hoult, like just going back and forth on that.
I love his mobile evil lair that just detached from his building.
Yeah, it's like it starts fleeing Metropolis, and then Lex was like, you know what? Let's just go mobile and just start a ship.
Oh my goodness.
We also, in the middle of this fight, because they're going back and forth, we learned that Ultraman is actually a clone of Superman. So we'll stop here for a second because I want to talk about my theories. And I told Jelani this because Jelani looked at me. Go ahead first.
No, you go ahead
Well,
because I think our theories align.
So Jelani looked at me and I was like, Superboy. At first I said Bizarro, and I was like,
Then I said Superboy.
yeah. And then when then Lex was saying like, when in the middle of that, Lex said, "Oh, unfortunately, he has like no intelligence. Like he's just like a dumb clone." And my thought was like, "Oh, this is." I told Jelani, I was like, "This is before Superboy. This is Lex figuring out how to match Lex's DNA, essentially baby trap Superman, because he's so in love with him." So that was my theory for most of it. But then by the end of the fight, when Superman sends the clone into the black hole, I was like, "Oh, he's sending him to the Bizarro universe." And he's gonna come back as Bizarro. So that was my theory of that whole.
That would make sense.
thing.
So my theory, sort of along the same lines but different, because also this is like groundwork for Superboy, which I'm excited for.
Oh yeah, 100% groundwork.
100%. But so my theory, because Ultraman originally is a Superman from a different
From Earth 3.
from Earth
The Crime
3.
Syndicate, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking that's where he got sent, you know. But since, you know, he's not fully functional, Bizarro makes more sense for sure.
Cause I think even like he hit him at one point, he made like a noise like a caveman, like that no intelligent nothing.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as he said clone, I was like, you're getting ready for Superboy. You're gonna have a baby with Superman. You're about to do
That's
this.
his dream.
Yeah.
That's his dream. I really liked, and you can see that psychosis kind of starting once Superman like does ultimately win. Like bro starts crying from anger.
Yeah, it was like that, and I hope that everyone when they watch this movie, they see that it's not like a sad cry.
No,
he's like upset crying.
That's a
he's
frustrated cry.
literally losing his mind.
Yeah.
He's like, I am literally smarter than you. How am I losing right now?
Yeah, that was a crash out cry.
Been there before.
So while all this crazy, did you have a theory about the clone, anything like that?
Nah. Yeah, y'all right. Y'all got it.
Yeah.
When all this fight is happening, Lois starts putting together the pieces of, you know, Luthor kind of getting Luthoria, I think it was called. Like this half of the country wanted to be king.
Yeah.
And like, they're talking about how Lex wants to have control. So in the middle of this, Lois is like flying the ship because Mr. Terrific is back trying to close the black hole. And so she's working with the Daily Planet to publish an article about Lex and say like, hey, he's actually funding this war essentially and starting this whole war.
I love that moment so much, honestly. Because that's what I was talking about earlier with like, all the characters that make the Superman mythos special gets their chance to like have their chance in the sun, because like as all that's going on, like literally as their city is ending, Perry White is just talking to Lois and
in the
Jimmy
planet.
Olsen. He's like, all right, so what's the story? Like,
Yeah.
he's doing this, doing this. All right, cool. Can we get this published? Perfect. And then there's like, all right, you got the spaceship on the roof. Awesome. Let's publish this while we're on the spaceship. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got Cat Grant and Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane and Perry White, who are like essentially the best journalists in that universe. Like, of course they're gonna be like, we need to publish this story and get this information out now.
Yeah.
Wow.
While she's flying into it.
Exactly.
And Jimmy's typing it up.
Yeah, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, I feel like a lot of Superman media, I guess like cartoons and like with like the movies, forget that part about it. Like, he is still a reporter. Like, that's still a very important part of his life, and the people that he works with are important to him. So whenever they like show that off, I think that's like really, really dope.
Yeah. It's such a well-handled B-plot.
Yeah,
it really
1,000%. It did not seem like unnecessary or like annoying when they pop back up. I'm like, oh no, all of this is important to the story.
And I love that they were all like true to their characters. Like even though Cat Grant did not get a lot of screen time, like you instantly knew who she was and what her story was about. Especially when she was just, I thought it was so funny. She was just like talking Lois's ear off, and Lois is just looking at the TV behind her. I was screaming.
Right, being cool under pressure, even though
he was chilling.
He was like, I got my cigar in my mouth, like, y'all can still type, right? Let's get it popping.
Especially when he clocked up Lois and Superman? He
Oh,
said,
yeah.
so how long they
They've been hooking up.
It's like 3 months. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I do want to talk about Lois a little bit. Like another scene, I should have mentioned this. The scene where she's interviewing him as Superman,
Yeah, it's
and
early
that
on.
whole back and forth. I was like, this is great. Like,
Yeah, that
because you can
was-
see like she still wants to be a reporter. She's like almost preparing him of like, hey, these are questions you're going to be asked.
Yeah.
But she also wants for her own story as well. And like I thought their dynamic that was like I think it's already been talked about. Like that scene was used as like chemistry test between all the actors who were kind of auditioning
Really?
for.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Makes sense.
But I thought that scene was perfect. I was like, this is Superman and Lois. This is Clark and Lois, and they're back and forth, and it was
Yeah.
so great. And I thought Rachel was great in this as Lois.
Yeah.
Like I thought she did
Yeah.
really well. I'm excited to see more of her in future stuff, hopefully, and kind of doing all that. But yeah, so the fight, Superman does his Charizard whole thing and comes back, and I think I thought it was funny. They make it a point multiple times that to show that the people Superman is fighting, he's not killing them, because he's like, oh, the engineer, she's breathing, but she's unconscious. Even when he has that spin laser move, like with the
Yeah.
robot armor dudes,
Crazy.
like
Yeah.
they saw them still getting up and everything like that. So I
Yeah.
thought that was still really
I know
cool.
there was some discourse online because that first punch he threw knocked old dude's teeth out.
Oh, his
I'm
teeth
like-
out?
I'm like, yo, give it a
Superman
rest.
does that all the time.
Yeah, like
And I
give
like
it-
the fact that they made it hit the camera.
Yeah, the
so it's
camera.
like, that's dope.
As that fight is ending, they published the article about Lex and showing like him as the traitor and doing all that. And again, comic book logic in a way, everyone was immediately like, "No, Lex, you're the traitor," and going against them. And the newscasters immediately were like, "Superman, we're sorry. We're so sorry." Like,
All Superman. and
Wishy-washy.
That instant backpedal.
Yeah.
I am curious to see what this means for Lex moving forward.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because like
that's what I want to bring up of like potential future, like what could that mean for Lex? What do you like? What's your hope for that?
I don't know. I'm very curious, and part of me wonders if it's going to lead into Maxwell Lord getting more spotlight.
They did mention him at a certain point.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
showed him.
they showed him at the end, yeah.
they
Oh,
showed-
okay, okay, okay.
So, because Maxwell Lord is known for mind manipulation, so I wonder if that's gonna somehow play into it. Because I feel like the world's not gonna be against Lex for long, especially. In the comics, he does something evil. They're like, no, and then like he's running for president.
Let's say he
the next
becomes
time.
president.
Yeah, the next
Well,
time
I
you
mean,
see him.
to that point, I think they pretty much show that like because of the media is so wishy-washy, it could turn.
Yeah,
whatever they
like
feel.
Exactly.
I think that was
Like,
that's good to
and,
point
like,
that out.
So like if
What-
James Gunn wants to like make that like a thing, I mean like well they're not gonna care because they just say, like spew the information that's just fed to them without even like really verifying.
Yeah.
And he could easily, like you said, become president or whatever he wants to do. pretty
What I
easily.
think might happen at some point is they're going to need Lex to help. He's going to get his little Lex suit and he's going to help the superheroes save whatever the heck. And now everybody's back on his side, on his good side. And it's just like, what world takeover thing he did in the past, So I feel like there's a lot of ways they can go about it. I'm curious to what choice they're going to make, though.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too because I felt like this whole movie, but also this moment with Lex of him getting like caught and like crying from anger. He was already unhinged, but I think this really kind of turns him into the Lex that we truly know, where it's
Yeah.
like he truly is controlling everything behind the scenes, and now he wants to do everything he can to bring down Superman because of this, all the events in this movie. So I thought I was like, this is insane. And then also we get Hawk Girl killing that guy from Barovia, the president.
Yeah.
She just kills that dude.
It's a great transition.
I was like, oh, okay.
I will
Girl
say
did not care.
back to where they take Lex, it would be cool, and I think it would be easy to scale this out across multiple movies, stories, if they took it all from the source material, All-Star Superman. There is kind of the central issue of Superman is slowly dying, and that was put on by Lex putting him in a position where he had to go through like hyper exposure to the sun, and to see kind of like the slow deterioration of Superman across multiple projects, along with other stories going on, it might play
I think-
well into his mortality.
I think that would be super, super good.
Yeah.
Super. Say that
Super
again.
good. No, I feel like that would be the perfect way to go about it. And also, like, you can pretty much take Lex off the board at this point and go through your slate of movies. And then if you reveal at the end that Lex was behind it all, I think that would be perfect.
That's so good. And then from here, we get a couple of great lines as we end this movie. So one you already mentioned, where they, Superman shows up to Lois. He's like, Lois, I'll give you an interview, like trying to be in character as Superman. And she's like, oh, let's go over here and have this conversation. And then it cuts to Perry. He's like, how long have they been hooking up? And then we get probably, I say, a couple of people's favorite line from the movie. Jelani. What do we get here?
Oh, yeah. When he's like, get his bald ass in the car. Yeah, when they were arresting Lex, I thought that was very, very
It was like, I think I got the biggest laugh in the whole theater.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why, because I was enjoying the movie. Going into this movie, a little bit of background for you guys watching. I was like, this is going to be a big week for bald people. This is our time to shine. We got Lex on the big screen. Throughout the whole movie, I was like, he's killing it as Lex. He's doing so well. And we get this random, like, officer, whatever, just palming the back of his head and saying, get your bald ass in here. And I immediately was like, whoa.
But he went off script.
Literally, all three of them were just like, whoa, like in unison.
All three of us were like, whoa.
And I was dying laughing. But I think to be more serious about it, I think that's so funny because, like, of course, James Gunn would throw a random ass line like that in there. Like, I think like that's the part that I love the most about James Gunn. He's always found a good balance between serious and funny, and like finding like the humor and things.
It was hilarious. I loved it.
Oh yeah, because there was a lot of moments in that movie that made me actually like laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect.
When Crypto was ragdolling Lex.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happened too.
Because like
that's why I got all the
happening.
scratches on his face.
Yeah, like that was happening and that was hilarious. But then they cut to other people and they're like horrified. And then you cut to Superman and Superman's like, yo, put him down. Like stop it. Like I get it, he's the bad guy. Like relax. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of Crypto, it was, I don't know why I didn't put two and two together when he said that he was talking about is a situation like he was basically
that's
Dog
perfect.
City.
That's the transition. What I was gonna go into.
Yeah. I did not clock that until I looked at this.
Until she showed up, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, what does he mean? That's his dog.
Yeah. So yeah, Superman mentions it's a foster situation. Then after Lex gets arrested, they show Superman and Lois kissing. Superman's back at the Fortress of Solitude, and the robots are helping him do everything like that. And the robot goes, "Oh, your cousin is back." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I was kind of hoping she might have been like a post-credits thing or something.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, she's here." So it shows our homegirl, Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, walking in. She's drunk, and immediately I was like, "This is the perfect way to explain why she's drunk, like going into the movie."
Yeah. I love that wasn't a post-credit scene. I love that they added it as part of the movie. Because I feel like a lot of superhero movies have gotten too comfortable with post-credit scenes, which there are post-credit scenes here, but you could miss them and it's fine.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's just adding to the world building, just
exactly
adding to like the humor of like the film. But like, yeah, I'm so glad that they showed Millie Alcock as a Supergirl for like the 5 seconds that we saw her. I was like, oh yeah,
she was amazing.
That's my Supergirl.
Yeah,
and I love Woman of Tomorrow is one of my favorite like comic books ever. So like you immediately, it's like, oh yeah, it's that version of Supergirl. I mean, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I was like, it's that version of Supergirl. She's doing it perfectly. I love it.
And you see in this scene, you also see why Crypto is so aggressive when he plays,
bro,
because of her.
He was slamming her down.
She's like loving it. She's like laughing, having a good time.
Yeah, but and it also adds another layer to Superman and like just his familial dynamic. Like Kara is a train wreck in the 5 minutes that she's there, and he's just like, she's
like, see you later, bitch, and then
she's like, thanks for watching my dog, bitch, whatever.
Yes.
I will say I was surprised because I was wondering, like, okay, when she does get introduced, is she like, does Clark already know her? Like, I didn't know if, and then so I honestly wasn't expecting for them, like, oh, she already knows, like, she's already come to Earth.
Yeah,
they already interacted. They already done this whole conversation, stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was a fun scene, and you kind of get a brief glimpse of her full outfit. She was wearing like a full jacket kind of thing.
Coat.
Yeah, fur coat. But yeah, I thought she was. It makes me more excited to watch her movie now.
Oh yeah,
Kind of.
I cannot wait.
What I hope happens is that movie starts because in the comic, not even spoilers, it starts with her in that bar drunk and explaining why. Because Superman says it in this movie. Oh, she goes to other planets with a red sun so she can get drunk. Right. And the comic starts with her talking about like, I'm coming to this planet to get drunk because it has a red sun.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the movie starts with like that last little bit of her walking out of the Fortress of Solitude and then going to that planet. It'd be pretty funny. Then the movie fully ends, and the reason I didn't mention them until now is I wanted to kind of talk about it all together. Up until this point, they talk about how Superman replays that message from his parents from Krypton because it soothes him. And the movie ends with him playing the message or kind of memories from his parents here, the Kents.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
Up until this point, I was like, oh, I kind of wish we got a little bit more of the Kents at this point, kind of see their how
Actually
they
wanting the backstory.
yeah, well, like a little bit of it, but you got some of that like, when they talked about him, like, hey, this is your parents or like what you were sent to do isn't what makes you; it's like what your actions do.
Yeah, I thought that scene was really
Really good. And then here, the movie just ends with him replaying all the memories of him growing up in Smallville and doing all that, and it was like, okay, this is Superman. This is kind of who it is. And then the movie ends. We got a couple of quick post credits. First one was just Superman and Krypto looking at Earth from the moon, and then the very last one is pretty funny. It was Mr. Terrific and Superman looking at kind of where they reconnected the world. Superman's like, it's a little off. Mr. Terrific's like, I try my best. What do you want from me? And then that's Superman 2025, the start of the new DCU.
I wonder if, like, with them having that world split, and we know that Peacemaker is traveling.
Oh yeah,
to different
Peacemaker
worlds.
showed up. I didn't mention that.
yeah,
He was a TV interview, but he was popped up.
But I wonder if this is why Peacemaker waited until Superman came out, because this is going to have repercussions for the DC universe moving forward, and we're going to start to see other Earths, because that's what was making me think Ultraman was going to be sent to Earth 3. But I'm just so curious what the repercussions are for that specifically.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, movies, any other highlights for you that we didn't mention that you wanted to talk about? There's a lot of fun stuff in this movie. I very much enjoyed it.
My final thoughts is just really well done. And Q reminded me of something a little small thing I really enjoyed in the movie, talking about the scenes transitions. Yeah. One of my favorite transitions in the movie was when he like locked his briefcase and then Lois unlocked the door.
Yeah.
It was just so smooth. But it's small things like that. And just the character interactions, big and small. It's such a good movie. I feel like it was a strong opener for the new slate of the universe, and hopefully that trend continues.
I think this was the best, like you said. I think this was the best possible outcome for this new universe of DC. Yeah. Because it's like, obviously the movies are one part of DC, but the movies kind of dictate the comic books, the TV shows, the video games. Like, if this didn't go well, who knows what decisions DC would have made started kind of going forward. So the fact that this is doing well, Superman, like, even though a lot of people didn't really like him, I'm glad this movie did as well, because people will see Superman is not a boring character. He's not an overpowered character. Like, he is very interesting and very flawed in a lot of ways as well. So I'm very excited for, dare I say, have some hope for what DC can do. Wonder Woman, who knows? I'll have to see it with my eyes to believe. I'll
say if Maxwell Lord exists, Wonder Woman exists.
She exists, but it's like
Maxwell Lord.
Please.
Okay.
This is unrelated side note. We saw the Fantastic Four trailer in IMAX before this movie, and I got chills like 3 times, and that was really cool. Same. But that was Superman. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to watch it with CCS in person, our first time everyone being here. If you're not following our social medias, we are posting pictures all weekend. We'll continue to post pictures from us hanging out and having a good time. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for vibing. We'll be back next time with more videos, some new videos, some old videos, and of course our monthly main show. Next up, we have Supergirl coming out for this universe next year. So maybe we plan another trip to another undisclosed location. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for vibing, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Up and away. Up.
The balloons. I saw those balloons come up. That's staying in. Also, quick thank you to our first live in-studio audience. Twitch.tv/snacksbreak. Make sure you give him a follow.
Yay!
Snacks is here. Okay, bye.